It might be a different sport entirely, but in the words of the immortal Ernie Banks, let's play two. And this is our second of the night. The boys 41st District Soccer Tournament back underway here on the Cable 10 Game of the Week.
Soccer tournament. Let's meet the starting lineups for tonight's event between the Wolverines of Western Hills and the Warhawks from Great Crossing. For the visiting team on the scoreboard, the Wolverines of Western Hills. Senior, number 3, Colin Armstrong. Freshman, number 7, Greg Little. Senior, number 8, Mason Closeway. Senior, number 11, Chase Crew. Sophomore, number 13, Carson Thomas. Senior, number 19, TJ Walker. Sophomore, number 20, Daniel Zelaya. Senior, number 23, Jake Goodman. Senior, number 30, Raul Hernandez. Sophomore, number 35, Carson Wallace. And your goalkeeper, number 1, senior, Luigi Giovazzi. The head coach of the Wolverines, Marky Dawson. And now for the home team on the scoreboard, the Warhawks from Great Crossing. The junior, number 5, Evan Purcell. The senior, number 7, Wesley Holt. The junior, number 9, Ethan Bell. The junior, number 14, James Crone. The senior, number 16, Seth Baker. The senior, number 17, Nathan Mefford. The senior, number 24, Addison Dasher. The senior, number 26, Tristan Morin. The junior, number 31, Lucas Smith. The sophomore, number 35, Carter Dasher. And your goalkeeper, sophomore, 0, Zach Hendricks. The head coach of the Warhawks, Mr. Nick Maxwell. Ladies and gentlemen, the anthem was played before the first girls game tonight, so we will go right to action.
David Toll's Auto Pro customers can't go anywhere without him. No matter where life takes you, the David Toll's Auto Pro nationwide warranty is by your side.
I believe in Kentucky.
I believe in Kentucky.
I believe in getting your hands dirty.
I believe the best recipes are never written down.
I believe in fried chicken, cornbread, and soup beans.
I believe in the cards. I believe in cats.
I believe in insurance coverage that helps you sleep at night.
I believe in always carrying an umbrella.
I am Kentucky.
I am Kentucky.
Welcome back to Sauer Soccer Field. Who's in the mood for a nightcap? Well, I know I am, and so is our man next to me, the Renaissance man, former coach, former official, David Daly. And David, I think we got a pretty good matchup on our hands tonight. The Great Crossing Warhawks and Western Hills Wolverines. On paper, a lot of similarities between these two teams.
Yes, sir. Similar records. They're sitting at number 10, number 11, respectively, in the region. 10-5-1 for Crossing, 8-5-4 for Hills. 12 seniors on Hills squad and 15 seniors on Crossing squad. And we're off, and we are going.
Great Crossing wearing the blue as the home team on the scoreboard, although they are the visiting team in terms of geography. Having to come a little bit to the west to play in this one, but Great Crossing, as you mentioned, coming in with a record of 10-5-1. Western Hills not far before them. Behind them, 8-5-4, the 2 and 3 seeds here in the tournament. And Great Crossing winning this tournament, or no, excuse me, Great Crossing did win the matchup of the 2 and 3 teams last year, made it to the finals in the 41st District Tournament, but they were blanked by Frankfort High, who looked really impressive last night. And that is the team that these two teams will go on to face should they win tonight.
Yeah, Frankfurt looked very, very strong. So whoever wins this one is going to bring their A game. They were very powerful. And Frankfurt sits at number 4 slot. Both of these clubs sitting just underneath mid.
Nice ball out of midfield over the top. Trying to cut it back there is the Great Crossing winger.
Nice defensive play by Carson, or by Wallace there for Hills. Just stepped in front of that cross.
Great Crossing, at least in the first minute, controlling the possession so far.
And this is what you're going to notice. You're going to notice this spacing a little bit. So, you know, you're just going to play a little bit. You're going to be in position to receive a ball. You're always going to have a couple options. Defensively, you're just trying to position yourself. You're waiting for them to make a mistake. You're not necessarily attacking every single time that somebody touches the ball. You're not running onto them. You're just going to shepherd and you're kind of positioning yourself. And when you see an opportunity, you pounce. And then you quickly convert and you begin your attack.
You know, David, that's why I'm glad you're here, because that was the first thing you noticed, and that's a very astute observation. The first thing I noticed is that every Great Crossing player seems to have on different colored boots. That's something I've yet to see before, but kind of nice, kind of festive. Great Crossing with the throw here, and Western Hill is able to get ahead to that and eventually clear it.
We were sitting here watching warm up a little bit, take some shots, and they were striking the ball quite well. Both squads, both clubs, just really some nice athletes out here. This should be a very even game.
Yeah, Great Crossing has found it a little easier to score this season than Western Hills. Great Crossing having scored 48 goals on the season to 23 allowed. Western Hills only scoring 23, so sometimes they labor in possession and struggle to get goals on the board. But, you know, it's only really gotten Great Crossing a couple more wins on the balance in the season. So Western Hills clearly matching up, evening the balance a little bit by not having the most potent offense the world has ever seen, but solid defensively.
Yeah, and now these two clubs met in the very first game of the season for Crossing was Western Hills. They won 2-0. It was the second game for Western Hills after a game against Sayre. But 2-0 was the score, so you saw it was a close game back then, and we probably anticipate it'll probably be the same thing here.
Ethan Bell for Great Crossing with a couple of assists that game, setting up Evan Purcell and Caleb Barnes, and that was the difference in the first matchup. Western Hills is going to definitely want to try to turn the tables here, and Hills trying to get a little bit of possession. Great Crossing has kind of dominated in that aspect so far. Nice ball down the channel there. Western Hills doing a nice job of kind of bullying the Great Crossing player off. That was number 31, Lucas Smith,
trying to make a run there. But they are playing the space, and they're really doing a good job playing through the middle of the field. Number 35 would be their central midfielder for Great Crossing to be Carter Dasher, and he is going to take it, possess it, and then distribute. It's sort of like the point guard, I guess you would say.
That is and one of the things, if you're kind of relatively new to soccer, I think it's a little bit unique to soccer. You see it in other sports, but it's more kind of spiritually than just the attachment to different roles on the team, to different numbers, as we have a Great Crossing player down. I think he may have just stuck his toe in the turf there. And you'll see it right there, the striker for Great Crossing, that is number 9, Ethan Bell, and that is very commonly a number that you'll see associated with the striker in the game.
Bell's leading scorer, number 7 goals, 2 assists on the season, and that's actually number 9 is the striker number. Number 10 generally is going to be your central midfielder, sort of your captain.
That is your point guard.
That's right.
And then you have, it goes on down. Your number 8 is kind of your controlling midfielder. Your number 7 is really kind of the talisman, kind of the person that gets out wide. It's a lot of really cool history behind it. And then you have situations like well, I always compare it to my favorite team in the Premier League, Liverpool, whose best fullback wears number 66.
Yes.
Which makes a lot of the purists want to pull their eyes out.
Yeah, but yes, there are a lot of superstitions, I guess you could say, within the sport of soccer or football, as it's called internationally.
See, I like when we talk about numerology, and we'll get off the subject in a second, but I always like the Dennis Rodman approach, that the reason he picked the numbers he did was because he wanted to force the officials to use both hands when they made the call.
I like that.
As an official, you like that, though?
No, I like that mindset.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm for you to use both
game
hands.
recognized game.
There you go.
All right, Western
Got a nice
Hills.
big throw in. Let's see if we can get the turn this into an offensive attack. There you go, right inside the box. Big throw in by Lucas Smith.
Western Hills has a chance to counter here.
A little bit here. Number 7.
That is Greg Little, the freshman. Getting the start tonight. Nice turn that time and hitting the ground, drawing the foul that time is Daniel Zelaya.
I remember Daniel Zelaya from last year, I believe, at the district tournament. Very, very good work rate.
Yeah.
Good motor.
And goes down in the box, no call. And that one's going to be shepherded out for a Western Hills throw. Let's take a look at it here if we can. Chase Kroom for Western Hills hitting the deck. He was letting the ball roll into his path and got crowded out. Really,
it's more of a hit.
Yeah,
it really wasn't a shove. It's just you got a couple hits and they checked up on each other.
And
it looks violent, but it really wasn't. It really wasn't a call.
Yeah, and at that point, I think, you know, and shoulder-to-shoulder contact is legal.
There's a big throw in. Found nobody. Did hit a couple bounces there.
And Zelaya plays that out. Here it goes to Colin Armstrong, the senior on the left. Trying to make something out of it. Great crossing clears that time, but coming in to pick it up is Jake Goodman, number 23 for Western Hills. As you mentioned earlier, a lot of seniors on this Western Hills team.
Hills with 12, crossing with 15, and it does make a big difference.
By Zelaya. Didn't mean to interrupt you, David.
No,
that was pretty impressive.
You're going to see some very good technical soccer tonight here. Nice little step over. Play the ball back, get out, just get out of traffic, reset, regroup, reposition, and then you're going to re-attack.
Ball comes in and is headed away.
Right back, T.J. Walker wearing the armband. Now you can see the value of those defenders. Your right and your left back are both captains.
Nice footwork that time by Ethan Bell. He was one of the scorers in the first game between these two.
A little bit of indecision there by great crossing allows Western Hills to regain possession. And we'll work it up here and try to play through. Unlucky pass. Ball lost in midfield. And there again, it's similar. We're now 10 minutes into this game, and we're still that little bit of feeling out process. A little bit of, really hasn't been a good opportunity yet.
Yeah, I like the back and forth we're seeing.
Yep. They're not rushing, not sending big long balls, trying to build, trying to anticipate.
Yeah, I would say the first 5 minutes was probably belonged to the Warhawks, and Western Hills really kind of growing into the game in the last 5 minutes.
And it's that ebb and flow. You get that offensive swing, and you have a little bit of a defensive swing, and you just adjust to it. But the players, with that many seniors out on the field tonight, you're going to see very controlled ball. I don't think you're going to see a lot of helter-skelter type play where you just run amok with your head on fire. You're going to be tactical. It's going to be precise. It's going to be meaningful. There are going to be meaningful runs.
Western Hills with the throw here. That is number 11 for Western Hills. Chase Kroom.
Seniors. That's the left back. Holding down that defensive side.
Yeah, Chase Kroom, one of the captains, as you can tell, identified by the armband. Just over 10 minutes gone, scoreless here so far, but both teams really kind of just testing the waters a little bit, getting attacks there, and Western Hills is going to have a free kick.
Whistle Lucas Smith, just a little bit of an undercut, just kind of got his hands up on him, got on his hip.
Here is T.J. Walker stepping in, the senior.
Walker's a right back. Where's the other captain's armband?
Also one of the captains, as you mentioned. And Great Crossing keeping that one alive. That's kind of like one of those. And that is going to go the Great Crossing way.
It is, yep.
It's one of those, as you see here, you might, if you're a Great Crossing, you might want to just like let that one go instead of trying to play it behind you in front of your own goal, but got away with it that time.
Yeah. A little dangerous play. Got a foot up above his waist. I took about 15 stitches from a Berea player that way with a foot to the mouth the same way.
So is that back in college?
Yep. A little bounce ball. Player from Berea College turned, struck it, finished it right to my mouth.
Nothing worse than getting wounded by somebody who majored in pottery.
Yes. It was back in the days. Berea had some very good exchange students, athletes from Egypt, and they were exceptional.
Ball is booted high into the sky here.
Look at the good spacing, John. Just, you know, nice and wide. Nobody's panicking.
And he had a little bit to panic about as Western Hills nearly jumping that passing lane, and the pressure pays off. Western Hills knocks the ball away. Great Crossing having a little trouble getting it out of their own half.
Possession bouncing around a little bit, but you know, it looks like Western Hills has stepped their pressure up. They look like they are going a little bit more high pressure on this. They're coming after a little bit harder, trying to push a little bit more. Yeah, nice little touch, nice little flick.
Yeah, it's just whatever you can do to get the ball past.
Smooth tackle, way to maintain your position. There
again,
you go.
that is Zalea working really hard to get possession back for Western Hills. Draws the foul.
Yeah, called that foul against number 11, Western Hills.
Yeah, and I think
Chase Kroom, but the referee he let the play go on to see where the continuation would be called or not. They were going to lose possession. They brought it back.
Couple of Wolverines standing over this free kick. It's going to be Colin Armstrong to take it. It's a low free kick, bounces right in front of the Great Crossing defender.
TJ Walker
ball back in the air.
You can tell by how high that ball is bouncing. This ground is hard, even though you're watering, but it's been so dry. The soil is going to be a very hard pack.
Yeah, and we're getting to the point of the year that we do have a little bit of a chill in the air, which is very comfortable being out here, but it's still pretty hot during the afternoons, getting up to around that 80-degree mark. And it's an interesting place that we're in here because, you know, if you stand here at Capitol View Park, you know, you've got the nice view of the Capitol and a little bit of a view of downtown Frankfort on one side, but on the other side, you're looking at country.
Yes, it's gorgeous out here. I've never been out to this park, and told somebody at work we were working this game, and they said probably one of the nicest places I've ever gone to and watched a soccer game. So. It speaks a lot for the city of Frankfort to have such a nice facility.
Here's the header, and that's going to go in. Great Crossing opens up and scoring.
25-23.
And Luigi Giovazzi really can't believe it.
Just unlucky.
Yeah, that's just a tough bounce, but also a nicely placed finish for Great Crossing. And the Warhawks go up early. Take a look at the replay here, and just to caromed off of 2 or 3 heads. That's a heads-up play by number 14, James Crone, the midfielder, the junior for Great Crossing, being James on the spot that time, and gets up in the air and tells the Western Hills goalkeeper one's on the way.
Well, that makes it a very different ball game now. Hills is going to pick their pace up, but then is going to open up for a counter. And as you see that, we just talked about that. We have a counter coming right now.
That's a pass trying to work there, and Great Crossing trying to work up a place to get to the second goal and scoreboard. Yeah, you're right. That's just kind of bad luck for Western Hills. The ball just took the perfect bounce, but give all the credit in the world to James Crone. He was able to pounce on that and That's not the easiest thing to do, is be able to control a header with that little warning, with that kind of
nice
accuracy.
Snap. Yeah, because he didn't have a lot of initial force coming from the ball, so he had to impart that force with the snap of the neck. But yeah, that was a very nice finish. Very nice finish.
And that is James Crone's 3rd goal of the season. Here's the cross, a lot of heat on that, and
there's this ball. Got a corner kick coming up.
Yeah, it was a nice save by Giavazzi that time. Gets a big paw to it, and you know what? He just took that ball to Fifth City in honor of. I was waiting for that one.
There you go. Absolutely.
In honor of the late great Loretta Lynn, who we found out left us tonight. True legend of this state, and I think everyone can agree on that.
Absolutely. Iconic Kentucky jewel.
Couldn't have said it better. That's a narrow cross, and it almost sneaks inside the height. Yeah.
Not sure what his height is, but he's got to be good 6'3". He's got a nice wingspan.
It's an interesting thing I see sometimes, and maybe it's just, you know, we saw it a lot in the first game too, especially with Western Hills, but the goalkeeper letting one of the position players, one of his defenders, take the goal kick or take the kick once he takes possession with his hands. Maybe just, you know, wants somebody with a little bit more accuracy on those long over the top passes.
Yeah. And you know, quite honestly, when you think about it, the goalkeepers are going to be delivering a ball 8, 10, 12, 15 times a day, or a game based upon a goal kick. Whereas you're going to have your defensive backs, your outer backs, they're going to be serving the ball up throughout the whole night. So they may be striking that ball 30 or 40 times, delivering the ball forward. So they are more used to delivering on target. So it's not uncommon.
That was a nice chipped pass over to Colin Armstrong there, and just unable to get any further with it. Great crossing, I think, doing a good job. Only letting Western Hills get so far, and we got a foul in the middle of the field of collision between the players. As Chase Kroom taking a bit of a hit here.
Yeah.
And I want to say, you know, I don't want to give a guy the benefit of the doubt. I think James Kroom there kind of knew what he was doing.
He's playing through there.
Yeah. Nothing necessarily dirty, just making sure the guy doesn't get past you. And, you know, that's part of the game. But it's a foul and rightly called.
Yeah. And that's what I tell my players: stay up on your feet. You know, keep your feet light. Don't be heavy-footed. And a lot of times you're going to go up and you're just going to clip somebody's leg, and you're going to go down, and they're going to make a call.
All over the top there by TJ Walker.
Serving it up there, yeah. Nice clearance by Great crosses.
And an accurate clearance, because if he's a little bit off either way, there's a whole lot of Western Hills players crashing the line of the goal there, as we have number 20, Zelaya, coming back into the game. And Western Hills will have a throw right in front of the grandstands here. We've got a pretty nice crowd here tonight.
Nice cool night.
Yeah.
Nice breeze.
Yeah, it's a perfect thing about this time of year. I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but you've got, during the day, it still feels mostly like maybe early summer, you know, that early to mid May, where it's not quite as hot as it's going to get yet, but in the nights you really start to feel October, and it's just the perfect night to be out there. And great crossing with a chance to counter a foot race here, and winning the track meet that time was number 23, Jake Goodman, senior fullback.
Heck,
we got some ball boy effort here, and you know what? Give it your all. You know, I think it's, and we've got a shot in front of the goal here, and that was Kroon, Crone.
That was Kroon again, yes,
for his second goal. But as far as that ball boy concerns, you know, find the job you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
Absolutely. Sounds like something Wayne would say. But yeah, that was a almost just inches away from being the second goal for Crum.
Yeah, and that's just kind of those fine margins, because I would say if you were to look at possession and kind of the way momentum has gone and, you know, the way that these two teams are playing, it's been pretty much even, but that goal, the obvious difference here.
And, you know, it was roughly, I'd say, the first 5 or 6 minutes, Gray Crossing controlled the flow. Then Western Hills controlled the flow about the same time, about 8 to 10 minutes or so. Goal came about. Now Crossing's been a little bit more on the push, and we're going to see if Hills cannot get it back.
Nice job by Greg Little. He really kind of ran out of options there and just decided to go for distance, and not much behind that one. But did a nice job to get the space to begin with.
Yeah, Zach Hendricks comes out.
Take a look at the replay here. Some fancy freshman footwork here. And didn't see any options open, so just thought, what the heck, I'm gonna go for it. And you know what? Don't win the lottery if you don't buy a ticket.
Right. You're gonna miss every shot you don't take.
Wayne Gretzky getting a lot of love.
There you go. The great one.
I think this is the year I'm finally going to get into the NHL. You know, I flirt with it every time around this time of year, and then problem is, you know, you got college basketball coming up, the NBA is coming up in a couple of years, and it's I can never really land on a team, but I do love. There's just something special about. It's kind of like there are some events that just the pressure is ratcheted up so much. We see Western Hills bring on Solomon Emery, the sophomore, number 18. There are some sporting events where the pressure is just ratcheted up so much, and you can just feel it. Everything's going to a different level. And I put the upcoming World Cup and World Cup in general, big international soccer games are in that category. And I'd have to put the Stanley Cup playoffs, because it's almost a different sport when you start watching the playoffs, just because the level of play increases so much.
It's like the NBA.
Yeah.
They start playing a little more defense. One of the great traditions in the NHL is the playoff beards. You don't shave, you start the playoffs, nobody shaves, you don't shave. You wear your playoff beard.
That makes my face itch just thinking about it. I've got about as much as I can grow right now.
See Western Hills begin to put a little more pressure on there, begin to keep space.
You see Omar Gonzalez, the senior midfielder in the game, number 25 for Western Hills, who had a touch there. And great crossing
comes out.
Great crossing, just trying to catch a player out there in space, making that long distance run, and so not able to do it that time, but you can see what the intent is.
Giovese with a tremendous punt. That must have hang time right there. The football coach got to look at him. Way to battle. Nice battle there in midfield. You know, it's hard whenever you don't have the pro sports. We do have some minor league baseball, but we do have 2 pro soccer programs based out of Louisville, Racing Louisville and Lou City. Both have done tremendously well. Racing Louisville is new, fledgling, the Women's Soccer League, and we'll see them continue to grow.
Yeah, and Louisville City has really developed a fantastic fan base, and for good reason. They've been one of the powerhouses of their division. And, you know, speaking of, right down the road here in Lexington, we're about to have another team coming up, and I actually saw a couple of people up there in the crowd wearing Lexington FC colors. So merchandise is hitting the marketplace. I've seen they've got a coaching staff in place. They're starting to hire some of the support. I know one of my good friends, I think the team is doing a lot of their training and a lot of their scrimmage games over at the Transylvania soccer facility, which is gorgeous if you've ever been there. It's their combined soccer just general athletics field, but it's a fantastic facility. But overlooking the facility, almost like one of those Wrigley apartments, is one of my good friend's apartment building, and his window faces right to the field. And he's told us we're welcome over there anytime.
Very good.
Especially because there's been some rumors about where they're going to play when they do initially start playing, but he sent us some photos of some scrimmages that they played. So I hope that getting that out there in the public doesn't result in a net being put up.
And the good thing is that then these young men will have a professional league that they can look toward, moving toward. You know, it's within their sight, within their reach. It's in their backyard. So, you know, that's all part of this sport, continuing to grow, continuing to take its place. T.J. Walker, senior captain, right back, went down on that play as it crossed the end line here. Let's see if he can walk this off, shake it off.
Yeah, it's a little worse for wear there. As Western Hills, or excuse me, Great Crossing takes this opportunity to get a substitution in. Looks like that's number 26, Tristan Warren, coming back into the game.
There is a header played across the end line. It's
28, excuse me. That'll be Tyler Andrews, the sophomore. We're going to get a corner for Great Crossing here. Looks like that is Ethan Bell lining up to take it. Number 9. His last one was a tricky one. It was right along the goal line, and it looks like he gets a little more distance there. The header there coming in from Purcell hit his own man. Ball still alive. Purcell trying to just bring it into his foot, but did.
There's a clear away.
Yeah, Zalea with the clearance for Western Hills.
There you go. Put a little pressure on, force him to dump that ball to the side to the touchline. Western Hills will change field. Nice touch, nice settle.
There's the crossfield ball.
Switch field again.
Looking for Emery that time. Great Crossing cuts it out.
Solomon Emery, sophomore.
Here comes Great Crossing, and Western Hill is going to have to rush to get that one cleared. And the clearance takes it right into the path.
Look at bounce.
And what a save that time by Giavazzi. Ball still alive. Great Crossing still fighting for it. A collision there. But that is a fantastic save. Look at this. And that ball is sneaking under the crossbar. If he doesn't make that save, that's a fantastic strike coming in from Ethan Bell. And
there you go.
It would be 2-0 if not for that save. That's all you can say.
I'd be on the sideline right there as coach. I'd be hollering, "Get off of me, ball." Yeah. Great save, young man. Great save. Good reaction. Just quick feet, quick reaction, good movement. And the reality of it is you face so much of that throughout practice, throughout warm-ups. You know, prior to practice, all your players are out there shooting on you, and you develop that just simply automatic reaction. It's just that quick. So that was a very good example. That was a tremendous save.
Really wish I hadn't burned that Fifth City line already.
Yes. Although you couldn't wait, you were looking for it.
Yeah, well,
just kind of ran on top of him there a little bit. Referee's right on top. He's trying to make sure nothing gets out of hand.
Foul committed that time by Adam Cruz, the senior midfielder for the Warhawks. And Great Crossing, or Western Hills, excuse me, a chance to get the ball into the box here.
Raul Hernandez seems to shake it off. He's all right. He's happy with the free kick.
The freshman, Greg Little, playing that one in, and is going to try to see if he get. It looked like it might have been intended. Yeah, it might have been intended to. Solomon Emery, number 18, was making that run on the far side, but I think just not past, maybe a little bit too narrow.
Yeah, sometimes what you're hoping for is you get that ball to skip and bounce a little bit, and maybe sort of half skip and catch the keeper up. They can't play it cleanly. You get that rebound, you're there for the opportunity to score.
As far as goal kicks, I've seen better ones than the one that was just taken by Zach Hendricks.
There you go.
And Western Hills eventually getting possession
midfield. Nice field switch. Just not.
Yeah, the ball just kind of hung up in the air and died.
Looked like it took off pretty well, though.
Yeah, you can see what the intent was. And
they're trying to play it through. Unlucky.
Yeah, you can see.
Right idea.
That was for Western Hills, I believe that was Jake Goodman, number 28. He was pointing to where he wanted Greg Little, the freshman, to make the run. So yeah, there was intent there, just the execution was not quite on point. Western Hills taking the throw quickly, advancing the ball upfield. Emery pokes it free. Nice little interplay between Hernandez and...
It's unfortunate. Ball rolls out across the touchline. Little Wrigley's fun fact for you. The number 3 scorer for Western Hills is the goalkeeper. Wow. Luigi Giavese with 2 goals on the season. Tremendous. I guess they pulled him out of the net and let him play a little striker.
If not, that is probably the most impressive stat I've ever seen in the history of high school sports.
I'll tell you, with his height, when you need a corner kick, put him up in there. I could see him probably scoring 2 goals off of corner kicks.
Yeah, I would say that it's one of those things that you see fairly rarely, but then a couple of years ago we saw it in the Premier League. Yes. And I know my phone was blowing up as soon as that happened. So it's every once in a while there's one of those that reminds you why teams do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Pull that empty net, you got that extra player there. There you go. They do it in hockey all the time.
You see Nick Maxwell, a great crossing coach.
Nice big throw. Number 7, Wesley Holt.
There's Ethan Bell, and I believe they're going to call
goal
that
kick. Rolled out of bounds.
Yep.
So your AR on the AR2 is making that call.
You know what's interesting about this, and this has been kind of this whole tournament long, I could probably count on one hand, and we're into the 4th game of this tournament, I could count on one hand the number of offside calls.
One, I believe, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think there was just one call. No, take it back. We had 2 last night.
That seems very, but even then,
yes.
You know, it's so common because teams are trying to get on the attack and they're trying to beat that offside line. They're trying to beat the defensive line. And it's just something that, and it's not for lack of attacking impetus, just an odd thing I've observed.
But the attacks have been more of a build through the midfield.
That's true.
There haven't been a lot of big long balls, or as these are called, sending it. The balls have been pretty much built through. The attack's been built through midfield. Very pressing to try and take it up here. Nice defensive stand.
Yeah, that's a nice job.
Good position. Well done.
That's some nice play that time by Raul Hernandez, because I think he saw the danger and knew he had to get in front of that ball no matter what he did.
And it was just position. He just had to be in position, force him to slow down, and then that's going to force a negative play and a little ball play out of bounds.
And the more time you take off the clock, or the more time you take, and the more you interrupt that, the more you give your defense a chance to regain their shape.
Get your defensive shape back, and you're in good shape. You're in good position. We're 1-0 right now, 6:39 remaining in the first half. Great Crossing scored off a very nice header. But so far it's been a really nice game. Ebb and flow, back and forth, up and down. 2 pretty evenly matched teams. Senior leadership very strong.
And we saw one fantastic save that you put up against anything you've ever seen at this level out of Lucas Giavazzi, and I believe we're going to
didn't see that call there.
Yeah. And trouble to see what was going on there. It looked like it may have been.
So they called a bad throw?
Yeah, I think
That's
so.
What it was, yeah. Well, you know, I thought on his last throw, Luke Smith, I thought he was raising that right foot. So that's exactly what it was.
It's funny because in the girls' game, we saw someone almost take a bad throw and pull it back and then
recover,
yes. But wound up about 10 yards further down the field than she was. So.
Cheeky play.
Yeah.
Action behind a little bit of action behind the play there. It's going to be like great crossing ball.
I kind of like those little, as you call them, cheeky plays, kind of a little bit of grift, you know, and that exists in every single sport at some level, and that's just, you know, do it till they make the call.
It's the hidden ball play from the pitcher and the first baseman. It's the brush back pitch. It's the quarterback, the halfback pass, or you know, tight end or tackle eligible. You have all those. Yes.
That's what makes sports fun, I think.
Sure.
Just if you make a rule, you're just basically giving people the outline on how they need to bend it without breaking it.
There you go, Western Hills. Apply a little pressure, recover. There's a nice battle on this side of the field here between number 13 for Great Crossing, Carson Thomas, and number 31, Lucas Smith for Great Crossing. So really nice offensive and defensive battle there.
I think, unlike some of the games we've seen in this tournament, like on both sides, with girls and boys, this game is being played so much in the midfield.
Yes. And it's all setting up. It was all setting up. That was a nice nifty play there by Raul Hernandez, just a little bitty back heel flick.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with Raul Hernandez and Daniel Zelaya. Their effort, just their pressure, and just their bit of, and that's another example.
A little bit of.
And he knew exactly what he was doing. I'll take the foul.
This is your professional foul. There you go.
Yeah, I'll take the foul, but you're not going any further. And that's the sign. You want a midfielder like that on your team all day.
Yeah.
As you see, number 31 there for Great Crossing. That is Lucas Smith, the junior. He's been involved with a lot of what Great Crossing has done. As he's pushing for it. Yeah, he's pushing forward quite a bit.
Yeah. A little bit too much space, a little too much distance.
Here's the layup. Gets free from the defender, lays it forward, and not able to catch up with it that time.
Just a little bit too much.
On the far side is
some subs coming in, 3 coming in, 4. Western Hills.
Yeah, Western Hills getting some fresh bodies on the pitch here.
18 or 15.
Taking a seat will be number 25.
Omar coming in.
Omar Gonzalez will be taking a seat, as well as number 35, Carson Wallace.
Jack Geary was also coming in off the bench on that. Final 2 minutes in this half. 1-0 still. A very nice header.
Yeah, this one's gone by. This one's gone by really quickly too. It's been an interesting watch.
Nice play. Very evenly matched ball clubs. Like we said, they were number 10, number 11 in the region.
And kind of a stark contrast to what we had last night between Frankfort High and Franklin County, as Frankfort High really just stepping on the throat of Franklin County early.
There you go, nice ball outside here. This is that matchup earlier. Right idea.
The cross just,
there you go.
Kind of took a little bit too long to get there, unfortunately, but the right idea, as you said, Carson Thomas putting in the cross from the left side. Western Hills in possession again.
Zach Hendricks scoops it up, kind of gives a little bit of guidance and sends him out.
Great Crossing manages to kick it right into their own supporters section.
Hendricks, a sophomore. Giovese is a senior. You know, I think maybe earlier today I talked about being strong up the middle, and that goalkeeper is really, they can see the field completely. They can really direct an attack. They're tremendous quarterbacks to have out there.
Nice job that time by Little. He was trying to play that forward and lead Mason Crustwaite, the senior, but Greg Little, the freshman, has been involved in a lot of the good that's been going on for Western Hills in the Great Crossing half.
She's been striking the ball from distance as well.
And you can see why they are giving the freshmen a chance to start this important game here for Western Hills. Ticking down the final seconds of the first half, Western Hills is trying to play it over the top now, making Great Crossing make a play on the ball. and that'll be a Western Hills throw, and we're going to tick down the final couple of seconds here.
Midfielder Tyler Andrews there earlier for Great Crossing, making a good effort.
That was a fun first half.
Nice
back and forth.
Ball.
Yeah, very competitive, and a goal by James Crone for Great Crossing. The difference between these two teams. The Warhawks up on Western Hills 1-0 here in the first half of Game 2 of Night 2 of the 41st District Tournament. We'll be back with some halftime highlights. Stay with us here on the Cable 10 Game of the Week.
Game of the Week is brought to you by David Tolles Auto Pro. You're in good hands with David Tolles Auto Pro. Bring your vehicle to us for the best repairs in the Frankfort area. 2 locations at 1348 Versailles Road and 515 Duncan Road. And check us out at davidtollsautopro.com.
Game of the Week is brought to you by J.O. Osborne with the Franklin County Farm Bureau. The Franklin County Farm Bureau's J.O. Osborne wishes all of our local teams a healthy, competitive, and successful season. J.O. and Kentucky Farm Bureau have been insuring Frankfort since 1943. With them on your team, when you experience a loss from an accident or storm, it can be a real game changer.
Welcome back to Sauer Soccer Field and Night 2 of the 41st District Tournament. In halftime of Game 2, Great Crossing, the Warhawks up on the Western Hills Wolverines by a score of 1-0. It's been a back-and-forth game, a lot of fun, and that is the difference between the two teams right there. An opportunist goal that time by James Crone, but right place, right time, and really that's harsh on the way Western Hills has been playing, because they've been right down the middle, as we see our friend, the ball boy, who is, that's kind of effort I think we can all just admire in anyone.
That'd be all regional play right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really that was one really good scoring opportunity, and that was about it. There were a couple of decent shots, and great save right there. That's definitely the save of the game. So
yeah, it's a great performance we saw by Luigi Giavazzi in goal for Western Hills, and unfortunate that one got by him, but nobody's saving that, in all honesty.
It's a solid ball game, John. I'm telling you what, very good, very entertaining.
Yep, we've got a nice crowd out here to be entertained by it, and we will bring you more of the entertainment in the second half. Stay with us here on the 41st District Boys Soccer Tournament on the Cable 10 Game of the Week.
Game of the Week halftime show is brought to you by Classic Gold. Art-carved class rings are available at Classic Gold Master Jewelers on 859 East Main Street.
Classic Gold Master Jewelers has an amazing selection of jewelry that anyone will love. Classic Gold also provides custom services like pearl restringing, engraving, watch repair, ring resizing, and custom designs. Classic Gold Master Jewelers, 859 East Main Street.
In today's fast-paced housing market, you need realtors with experience, who understand that timing is essential when finding the perfect home for the right price. Tim and Rebecca Hubbard with Exit Realty Crutcher are here to ensure that you and your family have a positive experience from start to finish.
Real estate is what we do,
and families are why we do it.
In today's fast-paced housing market, you need... Game of the Week is brought to you by Tim and Rebecca Hubbard with Exit Realty Crutcher. Choose local realtors that treat you like family, because real estate is what we do and families are why we do it.
If your property has trees, you know they add beauty and value, but they also have the potential to do serious damage. That's where the team of pros at Estate Tree Service come in. From trimming and shaping to complete removal, including stumps, the team at Estate Tree Service gets the job done, even in an emergency. Estate Tree Service has been the area's premier tree service since 1957, and our long list of satisfied clients can tell you why. The name you know and trust, Estate Tree Service.
Game of the Week is brought to you by Estate Tree Service. We have a solution for all your tree care needs. Estate Tree Service provides expert tree care and preservation. Call 502-229-5258 for a free estimate.
Bob Allen is
Kentucky's Dealmaker. Shop Bob Allen of Frankfort for a winning selection of new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, as well as quality late model pre-owned.
Click and save
at BobAllenFrankfort.com.
Game of the Week is brought to you by Bob Allen. Bob Allen is Frankfort's Dealmaker. Visit Bob Allen's new state-of-the-art showroom at 925 Versailles Road and discover Central Kentucky's best selection of new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram models, as well as pre-owned. Shop BobAllenFrankfort.com.
In 2020, with COVID-19, we had a state mandate shutdown. We relied upon Traditional Bank for their advice and guidance in obtaining the PPP loan. I can appreciate that Traditional Bank is still locally owned. We choose them for health savings accounts. We choose them for any business loan that we need. My name is Dr. Todd Jacobs of Helderman and Jacobs Vision Center. I choose Traditional Bank because they value personal relationships and are highly invested in our community.
Game of the Week is brought to you by Traditional Bank. When your business is looking to win, with tough competition around every corner, you need high performers backing you up. Traditional Bank's local team will stand by your side as a trusted partner, your friendly neighbor, and your biggest fan. It's time to make the switch. Traditional Bank, member FDIC.
Game of the Week is brought to you by Whitehead Hancock. Whitehead Hancock Plumbing has been serving Frankfort families for more than 100 years. You can trust Whitehead Hancock for all your plumbing, heating, cooling, and septic needs. Call them today at 502-227-2213 for 24-hour emergency service or visit their website at whiteheadhancock.com.
FPB knows reliable internet is more important than ever. It lets us work from home, share life with family and friends, and make vital connections online. To help, qualifying customers can now access the new Affordable Connectivity Program and step up to fast, reliable FPB internet at a savings of up to $30 per month. Learn more about this new opportunity. Visit FPB online today.
We are back here at Sauer Soccer Field as teams have taken the field again. We had a pretty exciting first half here. Gray Crossing up 1-0 on Western Hills, and Western Hills really having their fair share of things, and Gray Crossing just kind of right place, right time, got that goal in. But we saw some amazing play in the first half out of Luigi Givazzi in goal for Western Hills.
Made a really tremendous save on what would have been a second goal.
Yeah.
So, but it's been a really nice, evenly matched first half, John. Here at District 41.
Yeah, that was a fantastic first half. It was one of those where I was kind of getting into it, happened to glance at the clock, and there were about 3 minutes left. I'm like, I had no idea we got through it so quickly.
Yeah. Now, their first meeting back on August 18th, it was a 2-0 game, so it was 1-0 right now, so it's close, and it's going to be a close game. We've got senior-led teams on both squads, 12 seniors for Hills, 15 for Crossing. Here we go, second half starting off.
Yeah, every one of the games for Western Hills has been close. The team last night that really took Franklin County to the woodshed, that is Frankfort High.
We got
Western Hills only beat them by one, or only lost by 1 goal to Frankfort High in that game. So Western Hills definitely going to try to get their way back into this one and keep their season going and earn a berth in the 11th region tournament.
Western Hills has got to kind of pick that midfield slot. It's got to slide up more. They need to keep that distance between.
Cross comes in for a little.
The strikers in their midfield, they've got to keep that pushed up.
unfairly for him. The shot was
nice
distance,
rip.
Not a bad take that
Good
time.
idea. Nice turn and burn.
That was Lucas Hernandez, I believe, with the rifle shot from the right foot. Landed well. I think he wanted to take that first time, and it just took a bad bounce right before it got to him. But as you said, David,
yes, sir.
Nice touch to collect himself. Had enough space, had a rip at it, not far away.
Zach Hendrick was there. He was in position for it, but it was a well-served ball.
Zach Hendrick didn't have a lot to do in the last probably 20 minutes or so in that first half.
Number 26, Greg Crossing, trying to demonstrate for the official that, hey, this is what happened. And the official said, play on.
As a former official, how many times has that worked?
Very rarely.
In the history of organized sports.
You know, your favorite sign is you just kind of open your palms up and go, play on, and move forward. So.
I like the logic where you're talking at the official, and then you're like, oh, I never thought about it that way.
Yeah. But the officials have really called a nice game. They kept the eyes tight. They haven't overcalled. They haven't over-directed. They allowed for play on whenever a play, whenever a foul happened. They let the play continue as long as the team that was fouled remains in possession. And they're trying to let the flow continue.
You know, we talked about it a little bit before we came back for the second half, David. I haven't noticed the officials that much, if at all, and that's always a good sign.
Yeah. So I always said, if you can officiate a ball game and you're really not noticed, then you know that was a really well officiated game. It was also a well played sportsmanlike game. Can't stress that enough. You know, high school sports, you can say that they can do a lot of things, and one of the things that really continues to be a focus is sportsmanship. Being a good winner, being a good loser, being a good teammate, doing the best that you can, and whatever happens, happens.
And we've seen it, you know, and obviously in years past we had all three Frankfort area schools, and that's just something that we see. And I think there's always kind of they get fiery sometimes, as all crosstown rivalries will, but I think there's always just a level of respect and a level of camaraderie between these three schools that's always really impressive, especially when you consider how heated some crosstown rivalries can be. And it's these kids haven't grown up together.
Right, and it speaks well for the head coaches and the school and the community expectations. So yeah, that's a hats off as a new resident to Franklin County. Just been here almost a year now. I can say that the respect side, the sportsmanship has been tremendous in all the high school athletics that I've been to in this county.
Yeah, and it's interesting, too, because for years we had Woodford County, and it was almost one of those things with, and this is just my interpretation of it, we'd have the crosstown rivalries going on, but they'd also have a little bit of, you know, if you'd rather see any of the Frankfort area teams win than Woodford take the win.
Right.
So there was a nice rivalry there, and ever since Woodford has moved on from the 31st district and Great Crossing has stepped in, they've been a great addition, I think, to this district.
Yes, yes.
Western Hills with the chance to
Nice
have
strike.
one.
Well
nice
struck.
shot, and that's a fantastic save. Ball
There's
still
a finish
alive.
right there.
Little
Oh,
is
unlucky.
just
Little.
wide with the finish.
He had the right idea. He was trying to come near post with it. That was a great, well-struck ball.
Yeah, he'll be seeing that one in his
Hernandez.
sleep, but
He was
that's
going far post.
fantastic
Little
shot by
knuckler.
Hernandez. That's a great job of Greg Little to pounce on that rebound too. And
But now watch this replay.
Yeah.
Watch his ball knuckle. See, there was no spin on that. That ball was just moving. That is one of the hardest balls to stop as a keeper.
yeah,
And you
that's
just
a
had to pair it
fantastic
off.
spot
Yeah.
and stop. And you just have to keep it out of the goal the first time and hope that fortune smiles upon you with
Which
a
it did,
rebound
yeah.
because
Little was just unlucky on that. Otherwise, that would have been a totally different ball game, and we would have been 9 minutes into it.
yeah, but
Well,
Western
I'm sorry,
Hills,
6 minutes into it. So.
Western Hills threatening
Yeah,
now. And Great Crossing going to try to send some of that momentum back their direction.
That first five, last five almost came into play right there.
And
Just took his eyes off for just a second. And so Wesley Holt just frustrated with himself. Man, he pulled his eyes up to look for the defender.
I think he might be a little bit exhausted too because he actually just signaled to the bench for a substitute that time. Here's the play over the top. Little unable to bring that down.
Close.
There's the three ball. He's onside. Shot from distance, carried away that time by Lucas Giavazzi, and that'll be a corner, but that is a fantastic save once again from the Western Hills goalkeeper.
There's some rippers being delivered right now.
Yeah, take a look at that shot. That is such a nice strike.
One touch in stride, big rip. Number 16, Seth Baker. That's leading, or the second leading scorer. He's 5 goals on the season, 5 assists. Well hit ball.
And a freshman at that.
Well hit ball.
According to my roster. He is wearing the captain's armband, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
And that'll be a corner for Great Crossing. And we had a yellow card in the midst of that.
Did you get a number on that, John?
I think it was Ethan Bell, or that may have been a substitution that came in. Not sure, but Chivas is just able to consume enough space and bring the ball in. And he's going to try to get Western Hills on the attack immediately as he tries to play the ball over the top to Greg Little, just a little bit too much on him. But, and Hernandez.
And a little bit on his back, trying to climb up the Cron's back. But Little for a freshman is number 7 there is showing some promise. Got a nice leg. Here we go. There you go. Crowd made the right call. Quick throw in.
We believe the yellow card
There we go.
that we referred to earlier is Great Crossing trying to clear some danger for Western Hills on the attack. Nice footwork to get a little bit of space there.
With that first touch advantage there you go. You get in that, you get tight like that, you almost have to first time the ball. You're not going to be able to set it up. But yeah, Western Hills had a little bit of opportunity building there, but they've had a couple chances.
Well, let's take a look here, David, and that is the yellow card. I'm going to go ahead and say that yellow card more than likely for dissent.
Yeah.
That's
Dissent,
kind of textbook.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Dissent means you're just getting a little bit.
We got a big collision
A little
here
bit
on the left side.
aggravated. You express your aggravation.
Coming up a little bit gimpy there is number 7, Evan Purcell, the junior defender. Let's take a look at this on the replay. We're going to have it right in your living room here.
I'd say you're going to have a thigh to knee Yeah, right there. Her knee to thigh. You see, is that an ankle?
Yeah, I think it's just.
I
think it's. Yeah, it's tough to say there. That's a tough one.
It was
that young man's in a lot of pain.
Yeah, initially I thought he was rubbing that thigh, but that walk right there looks more like an ankle maybe.
Got the trainer coming on, so he will come out of the game for a little bit.
Can't speculate, just absolutely speculation. He's already walking a little bit better.
Yeah, and that's one of those, I think that, it's an impact injury.
Yeah.
It can be sore for a little bit, and then you just kind of,
it's a fraud.
You got that little bit before adrenaline takes over, and then anybody who's sprained an ankle before knows that once the adrenaline wears off, that's when your trouble really begins.
Puffs up. Just don't take your shoe off till you get home. Put in ice if it's an ankle. But yeah, you're gonna get a nice frog on that big. Yeah, it is right on the outside part of that upper thigh.
I mean, just not still able to put weight on it, and just looks really sore. And gonna get there
in the spot.
And that is going to be a penalty, and that is, for great crossing, that is so tough because he was going nowhere with the ball, was Zelaya right there. And
he was just
let's take a look at the replay here. Lucas Smith, I think, was just going after the ball. I think that's a good call. You had two hands in the back, clear penalty.
All you do is just kind of get his hips on him, just put him in a no-turn position.
It's one of those. It's a foul anywhere else on the field, so you got to call it in the box.
Hernandez steps up to the. There you go. He buries it back.
Yeah, really sent Hendricks in the wrong direction, folks.
Yes, sir.
We got a tie ball game.
We got a brand new ball game. We have 32 minutes remaining in this nightcap. See who gets to play Frankfort High School for the District 41 Championship.
And you know what? We have the two that we had talked about a lot in the first half as being the most impressive players outfield for Western Hills, with Raul Hernandez and Zelaya both being a part of that. Zelaya drawing the penalty and Hernandez slotting it home. 1-1 your score. Western Hills on the board, and this is what we've been waiting to see this whole tournament. A big dogfight up until the end. I love it.
We're going to see some fireworks now. I'll tell you what, because both teams are going to have to put a little bit of pressure. Both teams are going to have to pick it up. They're going to be trying to press a little bit harder, and that's going to also open up for counters. So,
and that's a frustrating one for Great Crossing too, because he's 18, 19 yards away from goal. His back is to goal. He's going nowhere with that. You're probably going to get the ball anyway, but that's the worst place on earth I can imagine commit a penalty.
Yeah, just just a little bit, and it could have been some embellishment, but it's a call that had to be made.
Yeah,
I always ask as a coach, call it in the box if you're going to call it in the field.
Yeah,
if you're out in the middle of the field, you would have called that a foul, then you're going to call a foul in the box, and I think that would have been called a foul out on the field. But sorry about that.
No. That's a very good point, and I think for the player that was Lucas Smith who committed the foul. It's one of those. It comes from a place of wanting to get a foot to the ball, wanting to get your team out on the attack, because you can see the Western Hills has committed bodies forward. As we've got a foul, they're going to let that one go. I will be interested to see that one again.
Yeah.
I thought he might have gotten there a little bit late, but they did not call it. Now we've got an injury timeout, as they're going to have to tend to.
Number 28, Great Crossing went down.
Tyler Andrews, the freshman. Let's take a look at the replay here.
Oh,
I think they might have missed that one.
Yeah,
that was a rough one, and I see. We've got a couple of Western Hills players, some good sportsmanship, and Andrews looks like he's going to be okay. That's just a tough hit.
Just kind of came up over the ball a little bit, caught him right across the shin.
Yeah.
Hyperflex that knee.
I don't think no malice in it, just getting there a little bit late, and that's one of those hard fouls, and probably the right no call. I take that back. It would have been the right thing to make the call, but I don't think it's a yellow card. I think it's just a common foul there. It just looks a lot. It looks a lot more vicious than probably the intent ever was. I know, but I'm
30
watching,
minutes.
there are a few people wearing navy and green that weren't a big fan of that.
Yeah,
So that's
no, they. But right now we got 30 minutes. So let's say 30-minute ball game. We are going to finish this up tonight. Nice little flick back.
That was a fantastic, skilled header back, confident defending.
You got to have faith that your keeper's awake on that one.
And Lucas Giavazzi has definitely been awake all game long. There's a cross in, nice faced out by
and cleared up by
Giavazzi.
Hernandez.
That's another fantastic save. He's been so impressive.
Giavazzi's solid.
And that's
nice keeper. Very nice keeper.
The benefits being quick and tall. Let's take a look at the replay here. This is such a dangerous cross coming in by Ethan Bell. And if he doesn't get to that, there's a good chance that's in the back of the net.
Absolutely. He had the crossing had the players coming in. A little square ball, a little cross. But yep, definitely. The crossing's kind of gathering themselves again, setting it up a little bit more, trying to string out the defense of Hills so they can then strike.
That's the interesting thing, because you talk about how you respond when you concede a goal, and Great Crossing has really, I think, responded by taking the fight back to Western Hills here and kind of regaining control of possession.
Very good defense position on that cross. That was a well-driven ball right into the box at about 10 yards in front, and Western Hills was able to just clear it out nice and easy.
We're going to see the score of the opening goal tonight. James Crone come back on for Great Crossing, number 14. And also number 35 coming in, that's Carter Dasher, the midfielder, coming in for Great Crossing. There's a long ball
from Western Hills, put a little bit of pressure, put a little speed, force the ball to be played outside. See if he can deliver the ball into the box.
And Porter on the field now for Western Hills. And there's the layup. Once again, fancy footwork, gets it all the way in. Almost getting to that was Armstrong.
That
still
ball
alive.
sits and settles in there. You just think somebody's going to get a foot on it. And that was similar. That was a similar ball in what for Great Crossing to score on. It was just one of those balls that happens to get in there, right spot. It happens to bounce around, and you just hope you get a teammate on it.
You can definitely tell the intent here for Western Hills is to get the ball into the feet of that young man right there, Daniel Zalea, because so far Great Crossing can't keep up with him. He's fantastically skilled,
nice,
quick. He's got kind of one of those, of all the people to compare a player to, I think physically, he's got that comparison to, I'm going to say Leo Messi.
Yeah.
Just being small or shorter and having that ability, that speed, quickness, and technical ability with the feet. I'm sure he would be quite thrilled with that comparison, as most anyone who's ever kicked a soccer ball would be.
That's that tight, quick, short game. Yes.
And there's a reason why that man in particular is probably the best for our generation to ever play the game.
I could definitely see that. But the South American players are just so well known for their technique and their foot skills. New life. Everybody's excited about this, and you can see Western Hills has picked it up a little bit after that goal goal on the penalty kick, and they really stepped up. They brought a few more chances. This half, say Western Hills has been a dominant force here.
Yeah. Great Crossing bringing a substitution and coming back into the game is Wesley Holt. He is the one that got that yellow card earlier.
Well, settle down.
Their own number 10. And it looked like he might have caught a toe in the dirt.
It's Caleb Barnes, number 10 there. Yeah.
Number 16 is the one, Seth Baker, that kind of came up limping a little bit. Western Hills, nice patience that time. And that's a bit of a bad pass. Should say a bad decision.
Got away with that one.
Yeah.
It was a little bit nervous. Omar Gonzalez just laid it out there a little bit too far in front, but no harm.
Nice. Greg Little nearly got to that one. I think he was probably headed a little bit too much towards the far side of the field momentum-wise, but fantastic hustle.
I don't know if Little Bird dogged him on that or not. And just, kind of, well, I'm going to sort of jog down here, maybe watch him play, but then he turned.
Yeah, absolutely did.
Watch him. He hit the burners. Now you got it. All right, there you go.
And he looked at the eyes of Zach Hendricks and knew exactly where he was going with that ball.
Yeah.
And David, that's a freshman making that kind of play.
And that's heads up. That is heads up.
That's just having an eye. That's having an eye and a feel for the flow of the game.
And I don't know if this young man, number 7, plays league ball somewhere or ODP or select somewhere, but I would venture that he does. So he is playing pretty actively throughout the summer for some other competition. But yeah, it's tremendous. That's one of the benefits about high school soccer is that there are so many other avenues after the season, before season, summer season, winter season. In Louisville, we used to play indoor up at the tennis club, and we played in old hockey rinks.
And I don't think a lot of people who aren't involved with it, and I'll kind of hold that thought for a second as Western Hills on the attack. I don't think a lot of people who aren't involved with soccer at the youth level and the high school level here really have an understanding of when you mention ODP, maybe go into a little bit of detail on what that is, because that's a fantastic program that we have here in Kentucky, the Olympic Development Program.
The Olympic Development Program. And it's open to all levels, all ages, and you sign up and you go and you play and you're evaluated, and you're trained and you're taught and you're coached, and you're coached at a high level. And the better players are selected and they're groomed and they move up to the different select leagues and play in different divisions and travel throughout the state. If you get into some of the premier areas, then you may even be coached and partnered up with a regional team and go out and play some national tournaments, or possibly a national team and play in some international tournaments. So yeah, it is a great program.
And I've had friends that have coached in the ODP, and I've had friends that have had children that have played in it, and it's such a fantastic, unique experience. They travel all over the country, sometimes even traveling overseas, and getting so much valuable experience and so much top-level coaching and picking up so many things that you're right, there's so many avenues, and even beyond that, we have such a strong culture of club-level soccer. You have such big programs like Lexington FC, like Javanon. And
absolutely. Yeah. And you're going to have the bigger city pockets, but you're also going to have the same select league play throughout the state.
Those are just the two that jump off the page right away. But there's so many more in some of the surrounding cities around Louisville and Lexington, all over the state, really.
Yeah, coming in from crossing number 8 is I'm sorry, coming from Western Hills. That's Mason Crossway. Sorry about that. Looking on the wrong side.
And that is a man who probably deserves a breather right there, Daniel Zalea. His industry and his unwillingness to quit is really one of the biggest reasons why Western Hills has leveled this game up here in the second half. This is the one we thought we were going to see, and it's playing out exactly like we hoped, I think.
Colin Armstrong has been silent, or quietly playing a great game. Just setting up, just serving the ball off that left side.
Yeah, he's obviously been given his instructions and following them out to a T.
But just
ball finds its way to the freshman Greg Little.
Nice.
Got the right idea there. He's trying to find Edgar Juarez. the junior in space, and Edgar was making a nice run, but that time was actually well cut out by the defender.
Little sending him to space. There you go.
And the ball played forward, a little ping pong action right now. And that one looked like it might hit the hand or flush on the chest of James Crone for Great Crossing. Western Hills with a chance to threaten here, and that is the man you just mentioned, Colin Armstrong, causing a little havoc there for Great Crossing.
It's a little bit of a heavy touch there. Unlucky that they weren't able to.
Warhawks with a chance to counter here, getting a foot behind it. Western Hills,
nice counter.
Maybe not the most confident clearance right there. Great Crossing still threatening, but Western Hills eventually gets to it. And that young man, Greg Little, kind of taking a little bit of a spill there, but just all over the place, covering so much territory. And that can kind of be a thankless position, being, you know, playing in that, you know, he's wearing number 7, but playing in that number 9 role when the strategy is to kind of try to play on the counter. You're having to cover a lot of territory. You're having to make those runs directly at goals. We take a look. I think we got a handball here. Face ball.
Nope. That was a shot.
Yeah, still standing up, taking, yeah, Mason Crothwaite, the senior.
But yeah, and as this clock counts down, the pace is going to quicken. We're going to see things open up a little bit more. We'll probably see a little more opportunity. We've got a bit of a break right here. Numbers are not there. It's hard to go 1v3.
And here the ball almost falling. Little was trying to run onto that, but Great Crossing in good position to knock it out.
You start getting this type of play where you get these big strings, then you have 2 or 3, just a quick 2 or 3 long passes, and you thread one through, and you bury one. And
Armstrong keeps it in. He's got space to work here.
Be prepared for that.
Tried to switch feet, actually just played it back over. Western Hills going to try to switch fields here. Heavy touch there by Raul Hernandez. This will come the way of Great Crossing. There's Crone, the goal scorer. Plays it forward to Ethan Bell. Bell has it taken from him. Ball finds its way back to Crone. It's going to take a shot from distance. He wanted to test Lucas Giavazzi. I don't know if that's the guy you want to test, but, you know, a good effort.
Yeah, that took a little bit of a short hop.
Giavazzi hasn't had to do anything in about 10 minutes. Want to make sure he's still awake.
Good pressure being applied, playing through midfield. Tried to switch field and wound up playing across the touchline. Time for some substitutions coming in.
Yeah, I believe that is. I didn't catch the number.
Zelaya came in.
Zelaya back in the game, and with about 15 minutes left, you have to think he's probably in there for the duration.
I'd say he's in there for the end. He got himself a blow.
And it's good to see. It's good to see Mason Crothwaite coming back into the game for Western Hills.
Yeah. Omar Gonzalez.
Nice by Zelaya to step into that one. He's going to have a shot from distance just wide.
Zach Hedrick looks like he had to make a dive for it. Basically, he was putting himself in position so that if he had to touch it, he was there.
Let's take a look at the replay here. That's a fantastic read of the game there by Zelaya. Found himself some space. Definitely has the green light to shoot there and not too far off.
Now, the one thing that you might see, we haven't seen a lot of, and we haven't seen a lot of right and left strikes. So you can usually tell if a player's setting the ball up, they're going to try and play it back to their strength foot. But that's also true in international play, high-level league play. You know, everybody's got a dominant foot. You watch that one.
And one thing from Western Hills, and maybe it comes down to a little bit of a height advantage that Great Crossing might have, and I think they're checking out. They want to make sure that Crosswaite is okay there on the sideline.
Make sure there's no blood.
Because he's the one that took the hit to the face by the ball just a little bit ago, and I think he's going to go over to maybe get a little bit of, get stitched up a little bit. Here's Crone, a little collision that time with number 3 for.
You're throwing across. Great crossing here.
Comes Zelaya. Lays it off into the path of Juarez.
Zelaya recovers it.
Plays it back.
Nice,
What a fantastic
move
with the feet. Finds Little in the middle of the field. Tried to play it forward there for Porter. heavy touch, but Zelaya back with it. He's doing everything for this team right now.
Like I said, work rate, work rate, work rate.
That'll be a throw for Western Hills between the benches.
So you got Little as a freshman, Zelaya as a sophomore.
Wow.
There's some pretty solid foundation for offensive scoring for next year, too.
And you've got some fantastic talent on all the teams that we've seen here.
Absolutely.
In this tournament. You know, Frankfort High we saw last night 6-1 over Franklin County, but Franklin County really, they played Frankfort High, I would say, pretty much even in the second half, but Frankfort High with some fantastic goals in that game, some fantastic individual play and great team play too. And one thing we said about them, the goals were spread so far between. Great crossing with the chance to go up, but nice heads up. Sweeper keeper action by Luigi Giavazzi.
Sweeper keeper, there you go.
From shades of the one and only Manuel Neuer.
Yes.
The great German goalkeeper. And I'm just going to pick the most flattering comparisons for every player I see positionally out there tonight. I think that's my role here.
We got just that 14 minutes remaining in the second half in the game. It's 1-1, great crossing Western Hills.
I've got 14 minutes. I'll get Maradona and Pele in there if I can.
There you go.
Not exactly a Franz Beckenbauer touch there.
No, a little bit.
Great crossing with the throw. Western Hills, this has been such a fun game, and you know, these two teams not been chippy. We've seen some good sportsmanship, but just really spirited. Both these teams want to get in that final Thursday night.
They have played hard and they played clean. Officials done a very good job of maintaining.
Fantastic through ball. I didn't mean to interrupt you, David. I just saw something that was amazing.
Almost split the defense. That was a great job, though.
Yeah, we're seeing some great interplay between Zelaya and Little, the freshman and the sophomore there in the midfield for Western Hills. Great crossing, going to have a free kick in what could be a dangerous spot here.
You know, I'm seeing Porter's got a little bit of speed out there on that right side, and I'm thinking there with the yellow shoes. I'm thinking that we're going to look, or we're going to see Western Hills trying to maybe split that and let him run on one. And I think that's what they were looking for in that last ball.
I feel like we've seen a lot of their attack coming down the left side. He is kind of more geared towards the right, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
So we have a goal kick, actually.
It's a goal kick, all right. Way up here, I thought it went off of Western Hills, but you can see that's why I'm not officiating from way up here.
Well, it's also like I really don't have a position to talk. Anybody that tuned in last night, I waited a full minute to believe that the first goal in the Frankfort High Franklin County game actually went in. And I may have been the only person in the vicinity or even watching that felt that way. But
I was as surprised as you.
Darn it, I felt convicted.
Nice, good battle right there.
Western Hills really giving great crossing all they've wanted to deal with here in the last 10, 15 minutes.
It really has been, yes.
But it's been so back and forth between these two teams. Great crossing, you know. We saw it a little bit, I think, in the first half, too. They're maybe playing possum a little bit, and all of a sudden the ball was in the back of the net.
Absolutely. And both teams have had an opportunity here to take the lead and come off level, but just unlucky, just a little bit short, just a little bit off. Just miss it just a bit. A little bit touched too much.
And while we get a chance, I want to give our sponsors a shout out. Thanks so much to David Tolles Auto Pro and to J.O. Osborne and Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. Thank you so much for helping make Sports on Cable 10 Game of the Week possible.
Can't say enough about the local community businesses and the support that they give for these athletes and for this program, for the crew here at the Frankfort Plant Board. Just a tremendous asset to have this type of programming available in this community.
And what a unique community it is. I have been, for the better part of 15 years, I've been involved with these broadcasts at some level. And one thing I always see is, especially in situations like this, you know, you'll be at a Western Hills Frankfort High game and you'll see Franklin County gear, but they're sitting there and they're watching the game.
Absolutely, yes.
And vice versa. That goes for every single one of these programs, and they're all interested in what the other one's doing. It's just a really cool thing to see in high school sports, and it's really this is what it's supposed to be.
Absolutely. It's about family. We are a county, we are a family, so in that sense. We're right at 10 minutes to go. Let's see what happens here in the next 5, and then
as we mentioned, we've got the Frankfort High contingent. They are here maybe doing a little support and a little bit of scouting as well, because they're going to be the ones that go up against the winner of this one. And the winner of this one's still very much hanging in the balance here.
They absolutely are here scouting. They just want to get a feel for it, because it's been a while since they played each other.
They've had a lot to chew on too.
Yep. Yeah, because it was back in August that Frankfort played Great Crossing end of the middle of August, and in early September when they played Franklin County.
We got a collision. Great Crossing's going to have, and that's going to be a yellow card for the collision. I think there, number 19, TJ Walker. We've mentioned a couple times about professional fouls. You know what? I don't know that that's a yellow card. That's a foul. You can make the argument that's a foul. Yellow card, I'm not so sure.
I think it probably because it was so much from there was no effort to play the ball.
Yeah,
I think
that may be what he's saying.
Yeah, if he had gotten that leg in front and trying to hook the ball back, maybe.
That's an interesting one because
driving into it.
And that comes from the point where you're coming from as a coach and a former coach and a former official.
Yes.
You're looking at it differently. There's the header and not much on that. Giovanni able to get to that one. Great Crossing threatening. Back to what I was saying, you're looking at it differently. I'm looking at the shoulder-to-shoulder contact. Right. You're looking at what's happening with the ball in the legs.
Yeah, and because it was that position from the rear, and there was no play on the ball at all. And it was interesting listening to Luigi make that call here in goal. He was hollering, he was giving direction for his players, just like I talked about. A good senior goalkeeper is going to direct that defense, and he's going to direct his players, and he positioned everybody where he needed them.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out here to Zalea, who took a hit, and we're going to have a mark there. I also want to give a shout out here to the freshman, the sophomore, excuse me, number 18, Solomon Emery, who I thought did some nice things here on this replay. He and Zalea, and just a little bit of frustration, I think, there on the part of Ethan Bell, pulling Zalea back. And he's been just a terror for Great Crossing all night.
Yeah, it just, went a little bit too hard, right to the legs.
And this is a thing I think is actually good, and I assume this is in the rule book, that when a player gets a yellow card, he goes to the bench and he cools off a little bit. And part of that is penalizing them. I think part of it also is just making sure it doesn't escalate.
Right. And honestly, maybe earlier in the game, that might not have been a card. But at this point right now with the center referee, realizes that this is getting tight.
Yeah, and you want to keep the flow of things. You don't want this to turn into something that it doesn't need to be.
If you let one go, then you might let the other one go. Then the next thing you know, it gets a little bit worse. And it's escalation. And
you don't want that. You don't want that to dictate the outcome of the game.
No. You want the play to determine. But I think the center ref has called a very nice game.
Yeah, 31 right there. I think he wanted that through ball to be played because he would have been onside. That's a good spot by our replay coordinator and huge soccer fan, Doug Crow. A student of the nuance of the game. And we have a fantastic crew here with Cableton, and we've all had a great time putting on this tournament for you.
Lucas Smith has got a big throw in. And let's see if he can get this thing right to the middle of the box, almost like a corner kick. You can treat that. If you can get a nice big throw in, you can really use this like a corner. There you go. Exactly where you want it.
Threatening here, and that one crawls into the goal. That is the go-ahead goal for Great Crossing.
7-minute mark. That was a big throw.
And coming in to score that is Paul Redmond, the defender off the bench, with the goal to put Great Crossing up with just over 7 minutes left here. Let's take a look at the replay. That was a great job heading that into the path by Ethan Purcell there. And the cross gets the hockey assist. Ethan Purcell gets the love here as he sort of forced that over to the far post, and give credit to Paul Redmond there. Right place, right time, and a great finish too.
Yeah. And that's the power of a big throw-in. A big throw-in, and you're attacking third, you're going to treat everything like a corner. You're going to react like it's a set piece, and that's exactly what happened.
That's tough on Western Hills, especially the keeper, Givazzi. That's such a tough spot to be in, because you have to be aware of so many things, and just at glance, there's nothing you can do about that.
And he has to track the ball across the face of the goal, and you're tracking that ball across going left to right, and then that ball's played straight back off of that little flick. So,
and that goes back to what you said. What a great throw that was initially.
It was, yeah. And it set it up. I mean, that throw was the equivalent of a nice corner kick.
Yep. And great crossing goes up, but this one's far from over there.
6:26, yes, sir.
He's had such a good game as Luigi Givazzi in the goal for Western Hills. You'd hate to see this be. That would be really harsh on him for this to be the margin that we end at. But you can't say it's not earned by great crossing either.
Oh, no. I mean, it has been a very entertaining, very well played, skillful game across the board.
Again, the winner of this game gets Frankfort High, the All-A champions from this year, who took care of Franklin County in short order last night. 6-1 was the score in that one. Much tighter affair tonight. And I believe Frankfort High, no matter who wins this one, we got a shot from distance.
Nice grip from distance there.
Yeah, just looked like it was taking a curve up into that left corner, just didn't curve enough.
Zach Hendrick got secure tight hands on that. That was a nice rip, though.
But I do think whoever
down on the far side
that
there,
is
holding an ankle.
Let's take a look at this again.
I think that's Greg Little over. No, that's not Little.
Yeah.
I thought I saw.
He's holding an ankle, and that is Armstrong, I believe, on the far side. Colin Armstrong.
Yeah, number 13.
And
yeah,
you hate to see that.
He's walking that ankle as ginger. You know, the number one ankle, it's called plantar flexion. It's when that toe's extended and you roll it to the right. And it's just.
I want to apologize. That's Carson Thomas. I had 2 13s on my roster.
Oh.
That is a sophomore, Carson Thomas. So apologize to him. Number 3 is Colin Armstrong.
Oh, gosh.
So I had been reading the wrong name all week, so I apologize to Mr. Thomas over there. Both of them have had a pretty good game tonight, as have everybody in those Western Hills jerseys. So my apologies go out to you. And Western Hills fighting for another spot. Coming through to get to that one. Crossway just not able to get his foot to it, but Western Hills still attacking and still so much to play for here. And that, you know, it's Great Crossing is trying to punch their ticket again. They were in the championship game last year, of course, getting blanked 5-0 by Frankfort High in that game. They're going to want to get a little bit of revenge for that, because I'm sure that still sits in their memory. But Western Hills also,
all those seniors are back. Yep.
Western Hills would also love to have a spot in there and get that crosstown rivalry going with Frankfort. And I think either of these teams is going to give Frankfort High some problems.
I think so too. I think very solid play, very methodical, good work pace, a good work rate, nice goalkeepers. We got 4:31 to see if it's going to be a tie and extended.
And these two teams are two of the teams that have given Frankfort High
very
a tougher challenge this season among everybody that Frankfort High has played. There's a kick from distance that's going to go wide. And that was Paul Redmond, the goal scorer from earlier, taking a shot from well outside the box. But both of these teams really were two of the tougher wins that Frankfort High managed to get all season.
TJ Walker sends the ball middle of the field.
And should mention that Frankfort High and the winner of this team will both go on to the 11th region tournament.
Correct.
Givazzi plays it high into the air. Western Hills just trying to get the ball up the field forward as much as they can.
And what is unique about the KHSA tournament now? We do have the All-A Classic, we do have the All-A tournaments and things like that, but this soccer tournament, the state tournament, is all classes.
That could be a problem here.
It might be a.
That was some good goalkeeping there by Hendricks.
He
I think he knew the hit.
Yeah.
He knew the hit was going to come, and he managed to absorb the contact, hold on to the ball. Maybe had a couple of words there for Crossway, but Crossway, you know, there are 3 minutes left in your season. You got to go out
toward it. Yeah. And it wasn't malicious at all.
And
just
that
a
one
little
actually,
bit late. He was just trying to get a little bit early.
And you know, Hendricks had to backtrack a little bit for that one. That was a nice piece of goalkeeping there.
So far, it's been a lot of sportsmanship demonstrated here in a really tight ball game, and district rivals.
Great crossing now, just wanting to see this one the rest of the way out. Western Hills
don't want to concede.
Trying to get the ball upfield no matter what they do.
Keeping three back, not even a flat back runner, more like a stopper sweeper.
Great crossing, able to keep it in. That is Caleb Barnes, the senior, number 10. Excuse me, I think that might be number 11. It's tough to see from our position over here.
You got a corner right here. I think
that is number 10.
The crowd is hollering for a little bit extra curricular. It is number 10, yeah.
Now let's take a look here.
That's Caleb Barnes, yeah.
I don't think there's anything in that. I think it's one of those we talked about earlier. When you're running at full speed over something, it doesn't take a lot of contact for you to go
just a little bit of body, absolutely. You're going to roll, you're going to belch a little bit, because if you can get a direct kick right there, you're going to take it.
Here's Morin's corner, and Greg Little manages to punch that out for Western Hills. Minute and a half left. Western Hills has to do it now. There's Porter.
Quick.
Tried to turn on the ball, maybe left a little bit too much to it. Maybe not the wisest move at that point, as that gives the ball back to Great Crossing, and you don't have that time left to kill here.
That was a nice move by number 7 there, Wesley Holt.
There's the land. Ball finds its way, and Porter manages to just keep it in. It does not go out, and they'll have a throw. 1 minute left. Western Hills has to do it here, and they have to do it now if they want to stay alive. And we've got a free kick now. Clock will not stop. Taking it quickly as Western Hills, that is TJ Walker. He's trying to clear everybody. The senior puts his foot behind it. It takes a deflection. Coming up is Giavazzi. He is now in the box. Great Crossing gets the clearing there. They've got to get the ball now.
Could have picked his 2 goals up.
Here's Emery. Plays the ball in. And it is headed up in the air. Getting his foot to it now and coming in to try to get to that one with Porter. He almost gets there with 20 seconds left. That might just do it, and we're going to have a stoppage of play here because Porter on the ground. Let's take a look at the replay here. And
fast and furious right there at the end.
Porter's onside. He saw his chance, and that's some great goalkeeping again there by Zach Hendricks. I think he saw that one about a second before it started to develop.
Yes.
And Porter may have been just trying a little gamesmanship there because he knows what the situation is, and he knows that
15 seconds.
Great Crossing can salt this one away, and he's trying to give his team any chance possible to stay in it. I'm sure that was painful. I don't want to cast any aspersions, but you know, both these teams have played so well tonight. Great Crossing, Western Hills both, and
very good.
Yeah, this has been a fantastic game, and you know, if this is the way it ends, which is looking very likely, it's tough on Western Hills. They have nothing to hang their head about. As it goes high into the air. Last chance saloon here for the Wolverines. They play the ball forward. And just having to take the shot, and that's how it's going to end. Great Crossing will go to the championship game once again.
Very good ball game.
But not for lack of trying for Western Hills. That was the game alternative we've seen so far. I think you'd agree with that, David.
Correct? Absolutely.
Yeah, fantastic.
Absolutely.
Western Hills.
Well-matched teams, great opportunities.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a That was as good a soccer game as I've seen in a while.
Yeah, that was fantastic, but it's Great Crossing fans that go home happy, and the Warhawks will take on Frankfort High in the championship game on Thursday night right here at Sauer Soccer Field. Stay with us. We've got highlights, we've got the play of the game, we've got the player of the game, and we're going to put a bow on this one as we have come to the end of night 2 of the 41st District Tournament. Keep it here on the Game of the Week.
The Game of the Week Play of the Game is brought to you by Bill McCoy Insurance Agency, celebrating over 47 years in business. With over 15 companies to shop and collectively over 100 years of experience, call, visit us, or request quotes on BillMcCoyInsuranceAgency.com.
You look pretty busy, friend. Why try and manage that much insurance by yourself? A local trusted choice independent insurance agent can guide you through it. We'll help with the research, help determine your coverage needs at the right prices, assist with claims, and adapt to your family's needs as they change at no extra cost to you. So, we'll do your insurance. You just do you.
Game of the Week is brought to you by Esprit Credit Union. Esprit Credit Union wishes all of our local teams a great season. Score $5 for your school while showing your support with a spirited debit card, featuring your school's colors and mascot. Who will raise the most? Open an Esprit Spirited account today and let the rivalry continue. Federally insured by NCUA.
Esprit Credit Union wishes all our local teams a great season. Score $5 for the high school of your choice simply by opening a Spirited account, featuring your school colors and mascot on your debit card. Show your support. Flyers, Panthers, or Wolverines. Who will raise the most? Go to Esprit.org today. Choose wisely. Western Hills, Franklin County, Frankfort High. Let the rivalry continue. Federally insured by the NCUA.
We're back to close this one out tonight as Great Crossing victorious in a hard-fought game over Western Hills, and you can't help but say that Great Crossing absolutely earned their spot in that championship game, and they will take on Frankfort Thursday night as the winners of this one tonight. And it is time for our play of the game, and what else? It's going to be the go-ahead goal that won the game. Fantastic throw in here. The headed deflection by Purcell, and that puts it into the path of Paul Redmond, who finishes it off, and that's what won the game for Great Crossing.
Big throw in. Made all the difference right there.
We want to thank Bill McCoy Insurance for sponsoring our play of the game. And now, guess what? It's time for our Esprit Credit Union player of the game. And we talked this one over, and I think everybody involved was in agreement that it has to go to Luigi Giovanni, the goalkeeper, the senior for Western Hills, ending his high school career, but ending it in the best possible way because he really kept his team in this game.
Yeah, exceptional play. My son was a all-regional goalie, so I can appreciate fantastic goalkeeping, and that was excellent. Excellent.
Yeah, it's tough for him to end his high school career this way, as it is for a lot of the Western Hills seniors, but nothing to hang their head about. Fantastic effort. This was the best game of the tournament we've seen. And
yeah, I'll tell you what, absolutely.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be a heck of a ball game against Frankfort.
Yep, and we have the privilege of bringing it to you, so make sure you tune in Thursday night. We'll be back here with boys and girls tournaments back here at Sauer Soccer Field. But before then, enjoy some highlights of this one, and there were plenty to go around. For everybody here at Cable 10, and for David Daly, I'm John Piesheimer. Thanks for watching the 41st District Boys Soccer Tournament here on the Cable 10 Game of the Week.
You have